For the previous few seasons, Noah Lyles has been completely unbeatable over the 200 meters. He was last year's world champion, he broke the American record, he ran under 20 seconds for every competition in 2022, and so far this season he is also on fire, holding an undefeated record and running a season's best so far of 19.47. But the reason we're talking about Noah Lyles today, ladies and gentlemen, is because he recently posted this picture on Instagram, saying that throughout his career, he plans to run times of 9.65 in the 100 meters and 19.10 in the 200 meters. Now, before you go down to the comments and say, nope, he is never going to do this, let's take a second to unpack what this means. Now, let's start with the 100 meters. A time of 9.65 would put Noah Lyles at number 2 all-time, only behind Usain Bolt's world record of 9.58. Now, there's also only been 2 other athletes to ever dip below 9.7, and these 2 include Tyson Gay and Johan Blake, who both ran times of 9.69. Now, at the moment, Lyles' personal record over the 100 meters is 9.86, which he ran back in 2019, and for this race, he got a pretty slow start, but he had a rocket-like finish. This race was a big deal because he actually took down Christian Coleman, who later that season went on to win the World Championships, so he really does have solid potential over the 100 meters, but 9.65, that is a huge jump. In fact, it's more than 0.2 of a second of improvement on his current personal record. A 9.65 is honestly a very, very big goal, but sometimes it's good to have these big, audacious goals, because if you don't set your sights super high, you're ultimately never going to reach that barrier, so I think it's actually a good idea for him to look to such an incredible time, and I'm not going to be the one to say that he can't do this. I think he's got a better opportunity in the 200, which we'll make sure to jump on in just a second, but a 9.65, while it does seem a little bit far-fetched right now, is not an impossibility. Lyles has been constantly working on his start, and I have from a very good source that he has also been reaching some of the fastest top speeds that he has ever reached in training this year. So if he can get those 2 together, there is a possibility that this season he could go under 9.8, maybe get in the mid 9.7s. However, the more I think about it, 9.65 really is a next level performance. Again, you've only had 3 athletes ever under 9.7, and these athletes are easily some of the greatest sprinters of all time, with the GOAT himself in the lead at 9.58. A 9.65 would be a legendary performance, and that really would put Noah Lyles on a completely different echelon of greatness in sprinting. But let's move over to the 200 meters now. A 19.10 has actually been on Lyles' radar for a pretty decent amount of time. Again, his personal record is 19.31, which is an American record, and it now places him as the 3rd fastest ever, only behind Bolt from 2009, and also Johan Blake from 2011. The thing that's interesting about Noah Lyles is that he has a very impressive final 100 meters, and occasionally he puts together a superhuman effort over the opening 100. But what really needs to happen, in his own words, is that he needs to get right at 10 seconds or under 10 seconds over the opening 100, and then if he can close like he did in last year's World Championships, potentially he could get the world record. Now, if we're doing the math, if he ran a 10-second flat opening 100, and then he ran a final 100 of 9.6, which is what he did in last year's World Championships, that would be a new world record of 19.16, which would already be magnificent. I honestly do think that Lyles still has more time to cut off over the final 100, and I do feel like his opening 100 might max out around 10 seconds flat. Again, you had Usain Bolt getting under 10 seconds multiple times, and he was really the only athlete to ever do that with any kind of consistency. So I think that Noah Lyles, right at 10 for the opening 100, could potentially go down if he gets a good start, and if he can hold that amazing strength and top speed, potentially he could get the world record, and a time of 19.1 could go down. Honestly, for Lyles to do this, he would need perfect fitness, a perfect race, with perfect conditions against amazing competitions, and he would also need a good lane draw, ideally lane 5, 6, or potentially 7. If Noah Lyles were to hit either one of these times, it would be a landmark moment in track and field. And I do think that the 200 meters is significantly more possible. Again, that would be a new world record. However, he's a lot closer in the 200 meters as opposed to the 100 meters. So I just found this very interesting. I think it's a bold move from Noah Lyles to put this on his actual Instagram. It certainly got a lot of people talking. In fact, we put this on our Instagram story and asked you guys your thoughts. We got a lot of mixed reviews. Some thought it was possible, some thought it would never happen. So with this in mind, I would love to ask you all right now, what do you think about these time predictions, and do you think Noah Lyles has the ability to run a 9.65 or a 19.10 in his career? Thanks for watching, everyone, and as always, until next time.